and and that that's been driven through technology. Through it is a fault of our own, but it's people want results right now, and they're not willing. They don't want to put the work in, and that's not the type of person I want to work for. I'll be your worst nightmare if that's you, and so it's all about, again, going back to that why. But individualization doesn't is so rare because it doesn't make that much money,
Mhm.
because it's non-time efficient. It takes so much time to take that much care in an athlete, and that's why people don't do it, because you can't scale it. It's so hard to scale getting so personal with someone. Really, it's what I call the battlefield. So getting to know someone and their environment, and that's not as military centric as what it sounds. Your battlefield is your everyday life. It's how you and your environment dictate everything else. And me and my programming and my team, we go in and we plan around your life. Your life should never be planned around us. And that accounts for two things: sustainability and availability. We keep you training at all times because we know when you can. And if you've only got a 30-minute window, then that's what we're going to go and train in. There's no point in me prescribing that cookie clutter thing that you said before of an hour and a half brick session when you've only got 30 minutes to train. It's not
Mm.
going to happen. So that's why people don't do it, and that's why it's so rare, is because it's not out there.
And is this the sort of philosophy between the difference between a standard person, say, working out, going hitting the gym, to an actual tactical athlete? What would you say is the defining characteristic between the two?
Um, well, I try and coach now and utilize the mantra of training everyone like a tactical athlete. And the notion behind that, and the reason why I termed or coined that term, was tactical athlete isn't like a sporting athlete. Remember, everyone's an athlete. Tactical's the prefix of that prefaces the athlete, because it's in a tactical organization like your military, your fire service, your police. That's my biggest
Yeah.
demographic. Um, but in sport, if you lose a game or you have a poor 30 minutes or whatever, that's a loss of points. It's a loss of pride. No one dies. In my world, if we get this wrong, people die. People get hurt really quickly.
Yeah.
So that's why when I was in the military, I had to make sure that people treated themselves like athletes. The serious is so serious that I was like, you've got to ensure that at all costs, we train as best as we possibly can to ensure that we're ready for absolutely anything that's thrown upon us. And that's really, really important to me. So that could be crossed over to everyone in everyday life, just being ready for absolute anything. And that's where the mantra "Red On" comes from, as you see, is the prefix for every organization I've got, whether it's the Red On Revolution, the Red On Challenge, the Red On Socks. Everything is prefaced by Red On.
So how do you start building in that philosophy, that red on of, it's like when you're jumping, you come red light on to prepare, green light to jump, you just go straight away. You trust that the system, you trust in what your coaches, what your senior officers at the time, depending on what it is, you will act and have your faith in that bit, that strip of nylon that's holding you up as you're falling from the sky, or you're believing in your coach. Why do you think you've been so successful in connecting with your clients? You change the pass rates like to a disgustingly high level when you were in the services. But when people are kicking back at you and saying, but why? How do you connect with them? Because you've done it so successfully. What is it, do you think, about this red on philosophy that has made your coaching platform, your app, and all that been so successful?
Results spark confidence. No one believed in what I could do at the start, and they only started believing when results started happening, and people in the higher up started winning MBEs, etc.